and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to Sober Talk. It's good to see everybody tonight that'll probably be stopping in. Um, it's as the title says, we're getting close to a grand total of 15 years without a drink or a drug. And this is definitely the time that I've done a lot of reflecting. Um, you know, when you get this much time, you start playing those old memories, those old cassettes inside your head that we call memories, if you will. Or depending on your age, it might be CDs, or in some cases, it might be records. But you guys get the general idea. You know, in my particular case, I've had a little bit of time to kind of reflect the last few days and thought about a lot of the places I've been, some of the things I've done. Obviously, there's a lot more that I'd like to do. This past year has been difficult because I've been on self quarantine, and it sucks. So just one of those things, you know. This is kind of the nature of the beast. Um, you know, we I think for everybody, everyone's been kind of self quarantined from last year and this year. I'm still doing it. Um, I know a lot of people have talked about the political scene, and a lot of people will suspect that there will be a full shutdown inside the U.S. But it's like it won't matter to me because there's a lot of people that don't prepare, and fast food and other restaurants will still be open, which is ironic. Just one of those things. I'm getting tired of this thing not working. Piece of shit. But anyhow, so that's kind of the nature of what we're dealing with right now here on the channel. I've not got to go to the meetings and do the things that I've wanted to do for a good little while now. Just because of the pandemic. Princess Faye and I have had long discussions about that. And it's like, hey, um, we just really haven't, she's like, you're high risk, so you can't go anywhere. You can't, it's work, home, and if you have to go anywhere, the store at best. But for the most part, it's work and home for you. So that's pretty much been it. That's all I have done, for a good while now. It's work and home. And when I'm at home, I'm still working. That's just how it is. So I don't get out much. I don't get out much at all, really. Um, we had a discussion about that. I said, I understand, I said you're keeping a close eye on me, so I haven't been able to do a whole lot of anything. Um, just how it is. Um, that's pretty much it there. Uh, I've got another video in the editor on Project Lena, which it's a little bit more surviving romance than it is, do-it-yourself budget hot rodding. I've got another one in the editor I've got several of them in the editor right now. I just got to hurry up and get some more videos done. I've been trying to get, my content kind of built up because Princess Faye also wants me to take a little time away from live streaming. And the only one that I insist that I won't not do well, two of them is the cinnamon live streams because there's certain people that expect me to, and then last but not least, the other one that I insist that I do is this one, Sober Talk. So that's kind of the nature of it. Man, talk about a dead stream to start off with. And usually, sometimes it happens that way. Sober Talk is one that it's definitely one that, how do I put it? Sober Talk is one that, I'll be honest with you, I mean, Sometimes it blows up, sometimes it don't. Sometimes you won't hardly see anybody for a good look. I know when I used to stream it years ago, I would, some of my time that I just couldn't get video uploaded. So and this was before they put the restrictions on the lives. Um, I know one of the things that I had to deal with was the fact that I would oftentimes start a stream and I'd be going for a good while before anyone finally came in. That was just kind of how it was. So, uh, I remember one day I was just getting ready. Hey, what's going on, Daniel? Hey, Simon. Welcome to the live, guys. Good to see you guys. Um, Standard sober talk, but we're getting close to me hitting a grand total of 15 years sober. I mean, that's a long time, you know. So it's as the title says, we're getting closer. We're getting a lot closer these days. I honestly, I remember, here's the irony of it. When I met, yeah, when I met my sponsor, Sober Man, he was 15 years sober. So here he is, here we are now, all this time later, and now I'm coming up on 15 years sober. So just take that in for a moment. When I met Sober Man, he was 15 years. So now he's what, 30? you know. Actually, yeah, about that. About 31 actually. Um, so just kind of take that in a moment. So, 15 years later, boom. Um, it's a long time to be sober. But as we get closer to, we're as we get closer to 15 years, I mean, I think back, I've been thinking back and kind of going over, some of the places I've been, the things I've got to do. I've done some neat stuff in sobriety. I've done some really cool stuff in sobriety. Um, I remember going, oh, thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I'm I distinctly remember, way back when this, um, I was about a year sober, and sober man had me go with him. Hey, what's going on, Grave Taker? Good to see you, buddy. Um, it's as the title says, we're on the road to me making a grand total of 15 years sober, no drugs, no alcohol. About the most exciting I get is, you know, that's it. That's the most exciting I get to drink nowadays. Root beer, A&W, which I will be honest with you guys. I honestly think that A&W was better when it had the frosty mug flavor. That's my opinion, though. It's good. It's still good, but it was better when it was the frosty mug flavor. I missed that. They should have kept it. Should have kept it. But now they're doing the aged vanilla. Hey, what's going on, J Dog? Good to see you. J Dog, it's as the title says, we're on the road to me nailing down 15 years without a drink or a drug. What do you think of that, buddy? That's pretty cool. I've been doing some major reflecting. Kind of a heads up. I've Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, J Dog. Appreciate that, man. Um, I'm actually I've got some homemade bread that I'm working on, so don't be surprised if you hear a timer go off and I got to take y'all with me to the kitchen because it's an experimental project I'm working on, and so I'm gonna have to take y'all with me, if you will, and we got to go grab fresh baked bread out of the oven, which is cool. Some of the things I get to enjoy in sobriety, I became a bread maker sort of thing, and I'm doing a little experimenting. Kind of the experiment kind of goes back to the 16, 17, and 1800s. Right on, J Dog. Right on. And that's just it. Um, I come from an old Catholic family, and on one side of my family, you know, even though we're all Native American, we were raised. Most of us were raised to think we were Mexican, but we're very Native American. A little bit of Mexican actually there, but for the most part, we're Native American on one side of my family, and being raised to that we were more or less Mexican, which again, there is a little bit thrown in there, but that's normal nowadays. Very normal. That was actually even normal back in the 1800s. Um, but if you know anything about Mexican culture, most of even here in the United States, it's Catholic. It had all to do with the Spanish missions and in Mexico and further south, all the way into South America. And then along with that, uh, on the other side of my family, I come from an old German family, a very old German family, Catholic. Okay, very Catholic. So we do, their their thought process on alcohol is not so strict, you know. Right, right. Oh, so you're yeah. Um, Now that you mentioned that you being a Mormon, interestingly enough, I live in Missouri, and I know you know the history on that. Um, I forget the guy's name who founded the Mormon Church, but yes, um, I live right in Missouri, so I'll wait for you to actually. Oh, yes, yes, live in Missouri. Um, Most people don't even know here in Missouri, we actually have a Civil War battle site. Uh, at that time, this was as far west as the Civil War got, but most people don't know that there was an actual battle in Missouri during the Civil War. Most people don't know that. It oftentimes gets glossed over in the history books for other battles. Everyone talks about Gettysburg, mainly because of Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. Um, as a matter of fact, it wasn't that long ago. Actually, it was last year, I commented on a video. For those that don't know about the time, okay, there you go. See, and Joseph Smith originally, if I remember correctly, he initially had started the church in Missouri. If I remember my history correctly, I may not be Christian anymore, but I do know I do know my history. I'm really big into history. I study a lot about history. Um, it's actually ridiculous how much history I've crammed into my head. As a matter of Hey, what's going on, Mikey G? Good to see you, buddy. I'm just talking a little history. By the way, Sober Man, uh, he had a fascination with the Civil War, and I know there was a couple of times I started talking, and he's like, "Just stop, Prince Magnum, just stop." So, and Mrs. Soberman came in. She said, "What are you guys talking about? Talking history?" And she said, I've always been partial to the Revolutionary War, and I just got my." He's like, don't get him started. He's quite the historian. It's one of his hobbies, So, um, just one of those things, you know. I'm good at it. I'm really good at it. And actually, I used to raise geckos a long time ago. I used to raise geckos. The Gold Dust Day geckos. It looked like the gecko from the Geico commercial, but a lot smaller. They were the miniatures. They were just really little. They were probably from nose to tail that big, and I used to raise them. Um, And oh man, it was, hey, what's going on, Raven? Good to see you. I just, yeah, that was something that I kind of studied a little bit on. Just stopping by. All right. I was in and out of your stream earlier, you playing Assassin's Creed, and it I never really got into the Assassin's Creed games. Oh, there's that timer. I got to take y'all with me so I can go pull the. Basically, it's part of a survival video experiment sort of thing. Something I'm working on. So I had to bring y'all with me. Not sure how this is going to turn out, but this one feels different. Okay, I'll buy that. And oh yeah, that looks good. Oh shoot, you could definitely tell. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Where did? Hang on here. If I like the results of this, we'll definitely make a video on it. We'll definitely have to make a video on it, but not until then. It's one of those things that I'm not sure if we're gonna like it or not. We did make one, and it didn't turn out bad. It didn't turn out bad at all. Oh yeah, that looks good, man. I gotta lose the glasses. Oh yeah. I know it's sober talk, but I had to bring y'all with me to get this done. Ta-da! Oh, better leave that on. These are going to be so freaking warm. And if you're part of the main group that I run with, you'll get to see pictures of it. There we go. All righty. Oh, yeah, shoot. I'll show you anyways. Basically, I turned pumpkin pie filling into homemade bread. Pretty cool. If we like the results of it, I'll make a video on it. If we, but I'm still working out the details on all that. It's just one of those. Sometimes you got to work out those details to make it, good. I guess you could say. So there you go. Got that all squared away. Because I got to get some stuff for the new series. Hey, what's going on, Chairman? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. But yeah, Sober Man used to he used to get really upset. Is like, don't get him started on history. You'll never shut him up. I'm like, Sober Man, you usually can't shut me up anyways. You get me started and I'm gone. But I started to tell the story of. I remember it was around the time I was making my 1 year sober. And, of all the things, I remember when we were, what, for the longest time, Sober Man and I would go to, we would go to meetings up in St. Louis, Missouri. We'd travel to St. Louis to celebrate. What's going on? Think different. And that was our thing. We always did that every year for the longest time. I mean, all the way up until I think I was like 5 years no, about 5 years sober. We did that. We would go up to St. Louis every year for my sobriety birthday. Now, real quick, in AA, when you hear about sobriety, okay, when what some people might call their outside of AA, like a sobriety anniversary or something like that. Okay, in Alcoholics Anonymous, we call it a sobriety birthday. You have two birthdays in Alcoholics Anonymous. You have your belly button birthday, which is your actual birthday. And then there's your sobriety birthday. And in AA, when you have a sobriety birthday, we will even tell you happy birthday. You know, that's actually what we do in Alcoholics Anonymous. So if you're ever in an AA meeting, whether you're an alcoholic or not, if you're ever in one and you hear my sobriety birthday, you now know what that means. So that's actually what that means in Alcoholics Anonymous. Um, so pretty cool, right? Just yeah, pretty cool. Which here, real quick, while I'm on the subject of, because I actually still have pretty much all of my sobriety coins from getting sober over the years. And there is one in there. I know I've got it. Just may have gotten jockeyed around. That's my 3-year, 6-year. That's 12. I don't think I ever got my 13 or my 14 year. I just didn't have the time. 8 years, 5 years, 7. Wow. Lots of memories in these coins. But there is one that it has quite a story behind it. But yep. And y'all have heard me talk about this. Some people refer to this as the cursed coin. This is my 2-year coin. I've given it away a grand total of 3 times, tried to pass it on. And in every instance, the person who I pass it on to usually ends up going back out and getting drunk. And I always end up back with it. The irony, Sober Man got it for a guy he was sponsoring. That guy, after getting this coin, decided to go back out and get drunk. And he actually, that guy didn't make it back. He didn't make it back. So then Sober Man ended up with the coin. And then years later, he passes it on to me. I still, obviously I'm long past 2 years, but I have tried to give it away. And in 3 instances, it ended up with me again. Basically, the person I gave it to ended up getting drunk. And it's like, give it back because of the importance behind it. But here's the irony. Only 2 people have ever held this coin and not went back out and drank. So this is my 2-year coin, and I probably should do a heck of a video on it we don't know why it has to happen that way, but everybody else who has laid eyes on it always ends up drunk again. Yeah, it was a major relapse. Basically, he went on a bender to end all benders, literally, and he didn't make it back. He passed away. I forget the guy's name now. Sober Man would remember it like that. But what ended up happening is when he went, the guy's wife, how many days? He had 2 years. He had 2 years. That's why he ended up with this 2-year coin. This is literally a 2-year coin. And he went, after getting this coin, it wasn't even 3 days after getting this coin given to him by Sober Man, and he went back out and didn't make it back. He didn't make it back at all, sort of thing. Like we always say, keep coming back. Even if you relapse, keep coming back. He couldn't make it back. He was dead. Like that kind of relapse. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like it was the bender to end all benders. He didn't make it back. Well, along with that, to make matters worse, the guy's wife gives Sober Man all of, her now deceased husband's, basically gave him all of his, Sober Man, all the AA stuff. And in all of that AA stuff was the coin he gave him. Sober man tucked it away. Years later, I come along and sober man, when I made 3 months, he said, I already have your 2-year coin. And he showed it to me for the first time. First time I ever laid eyes on it. And he said, you make it to 2 years and you get this coin. I make 2 years. I got this coin. I hung on to it. And around the time I made a little over 3 years, I felt it was time to pass it on. And I had someone and I went to pass it on to him. He didn't make it. And he's like, here you go. I gave it back. Then I had another one. He actually, he was coming up on 2 years. I showed him, I said, you have made it. So I will give you, didn't make it. And I said, you're almost to 2 years. This is your coin. And I told him the story behind it. It wasn't even, he was a week away from making 2 years and ended up drunk. I didn't even have to give it to him. I had another one. I wasn't sponsoring this person, but it was a lady in the program doing good, made 2 years, I told the lady, I said, look, I told the lady's sponsor, I said, I've got her 2-year coin. I said, because, I've been involved too. Gave the woman the coin. Wasn't but a month later, she back out there doing it again. I'm like, and here it comes right back. It boomerangs right back to me for the third time. Then the last time, I actually had a guy I was sponsoring, and I told him, I said, you're really special. I'm proud of you. You're doing an amazing job. And he was doing a great job. And I said, if you can make 2 years, I've got this coin for you. It wasn't but 2 weeks later, he was gone too. He just laid eyes on it, and he's gone. Took him too. He ended up going back out and he OD'd. They found him in an alleyway with a needle in his arm. It was like that. And yeah. So honestly, I mean, and even a lady friend of mine that I actually dated briefly, this is long before Princess Faye. She was there when I got this coin. And when she seen the coin, it was about a month later, she was back out there. She was out there for quite a few years. I almost didn't make it back. When she did finally make it back to the program, she'd already had a heart attack and was lucky to be alive. She ended up passing away. Honestly, I mean, this particular coin has quite a dark history. And I am the last one who's ever held, that it's still my coin. But yeah, I'm the only one that evidently can hold it and not relapse anymore. And I've even sent pictures of it to Soberman, said, I still got it. And he's like, aren't you going to give that away? I said, every time I do, someone dies. Seriously. He's like, but I've held that coin. I said, I know, you gave it to me. It is the spookiest thing I think I've owned. It is the spookiest thing I think that's in my possession. I don't know. I know, Chairman, that you're sitting there going, my God, that's If J-Dog's in the back, he's probably like, dang, dude, that is a no. What the heck, man? Why? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Which, ironically enough, um, there could be a logical explanation for the fact that that coin basically keeps boomeranging back to me. It's a 2-year coin. And the irony of it is that they say that around 2 years, and even in my own personal experience, it's like there's a huge upheaval in a recovering alcoholic's life. It's usually at 2 years, sometimes a little bit before then, sometimes a little after, but most of the time it's right on 2 years. We're not 100% sure why that is, other than that's just kind of how it is. For every alcoholic, they will go through that whole experience where 2 years is just really hard. And the irony of that is I mean, it is a 2-year coin. So right around 2 years, it gets hard and people don't make it back. So that could be the logical explanation, or it could just really be that this freaking coin is cursed. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have an answer. I probably should do a video on. You guys want a video on this coin and the history of it? Because I'll have to call Sober Man for that. Because that'd be one hell of a video. Probably the spookiest thing I own. And it was given to me. It was given to me. Come here. Can I borrow you? Everybody's been asking. Here she is. There's Zelda. Gonna help me take on Ganon later? Gonna help me take on Ganon? I don't think she'll help me take on Ganon later. Go figure. When she was a real little kitten, real quick, I know this isn't exactly sober talk, but when she was a real little kitten, having the name Zelda and everything, I was playing Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, was going into Calamity Ganon. And as soon as she seen Calamity Ganon, she let out this pitiful meow and ran to the other room. That was. She did. She ran to the. Yep, you definitely got your name right. Definitely got your name right. She let out this pitiful meow and ran to the other room. It was cute, actually. Wish I'd had a camera on her. Yep. I guess she was afraid she was going to get kidnapped or something by Ganon. But yeah. So, but yeah, Chairman have the coin blessed or something. You think it would do any good? I mean, seriously, y'all think it would do any good? I mean, I don't know at this point. But yeah, I actually sent a picture to Soberman a little while back of this coin. He said, "You still got it?" I said, "Yeah, it just keeps making its way back." He's like, "Get rid." He's like, "Give it away." I said, "Every time I do." It has a really dark chapter. It has a really dark story behind it. It's probably the darkest thing I own. Now, the irony of it is, when I said, I carried that with me for a whole year. That was until I got 3. That's it right there, 3-year coin. That was cool. Hang on here. 4 years. Probably. Yeah, I believe that's possible. Here's my 4-year coin. 4 years. And they do them in, best I could show you, do them in Roman numerals. 5-year. They don't even print them like that anymore. It's got the founders on it. And then something right out of our book from How It Works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Right there. 5-year coin. Pretty cool. Always like the older ones. Always like the older coins like that. And this one was actually one that Soberman carried himself. This was one that he carried. And I've had it all this time. That was actually Soberman's coin. 6-year. This was I believe this was the last coin, because for a brief time, Soberman didn't sponsor me. And this was the last one he gave me from the original time he sponsored me. A long story behind that. So for a little while, Soberman didn't sponsor me. It was the revolving door kept us spinning. 7 years. A 7-year coin. Not a whole lot to talk about on that time, really. I mean, I was still busy in AA, but 8 years. 8 years. Again, Roman numerals. Let's see, my 9-year coin. That's 11. There's 9. There you go. Nine-year. 10. And if they're printed with any additional stuff in the middle right there, it's an older design, because they don't print them like that anymore. Now they print them where they're bronze, but they're all decorative on the inside, but then you got the bronze outer, and it's all pretty looking in there, painted up real nice, and then it's got like this plastic outer coating, you know. Oh, it's all good, J-Dog. It's all good. So the coins don't even really look like this hardly anymore. They really don't. But these are my actual sobriety coins that I've gotten over the years. But like I said, the darkest one I've got is my 2-year coin. And yeah, I probably should do a heck of a video on that. Like I said, a lot of people even end up, basically it ends up relapsing the moment they touch this coin. The only 2 people that haven't has been Soberman and myself. We're the only ones who've carried this coin and not relapsed. And like I said, it's actually in two different instances, relapses from people who've held this coin. In 2 instances, the person didn't make it back. They did not make it back. It could even be more than that, but to my knowledge. But yeah, I've given this coin away, and it always boomerangs back to me. Actually, it used to look kind of faded and everything, kind of looked a little like that, kind of dull. And I took and polished it up, and I sent pictures to Soberman, and he's like, I can't even believe you still got that coin. I said, every time I give it away, it always makes its way back. And I'll have to tell the story behind it. But the very first person that Soberman ever gave this coin to relapsed and passed away from the relapse. It killed him. The relapse killed him. So he didn't make it back. Then it sat in his closet for the longest time, I think somewhere right around 10 years. And then I was the one who got it next. And then every time I try to give it away, it always, the person relapses. And like I said, even in one instance, someone just held it, and they didn't make it back. So, yeah, that is the darkest thing in my society that I own. The darkest thing. Which I got some pretty neat stuff actually back over here. I'll have to show some of that off. Um, yeah. Oh, goodness. Oh, Princess Faye was feeling she had a bit of a headache thing going on earlier, and she was having a hard time resting. She finally took her melatonin tablets, and she was finally able to lie down. She's got to work tonight. But yeah. So, Chairman, you think I ought to have a priest bless this sucker, huh? Exorcism over it, huh? I don't know. I can't explain it, you know. Can't explain it. Well, how about something that's not so dark? This is actually a pin from when I served on a particular panel. Well, basically served as a DCM for for District 6, which is where I live. Yes, you really. Um, Area 38, panel number 67. And I served as a DCM for District 6 for about a year and a half. And they gave me a pin, which is pretty cool. During that time, dear old Prince Magnum actually got recorded for kind of something similar to like an audio book for up there at AA World Services. To my knowledge, I've never actually looked, but I was told that you could actually, anybody who did those recordings, and I asked this, would you guys? Yes. I said, well, I was just about to add, yes, we want you. This was at an area assembly. We want you to sit down and do a recording. We want to record you for New York. I said, okay. Well, in a discussion, then I was just going to ask, but no, you don't get to ask. You're doing it. I was like, okay, I'm being voluntold, you know. So this was one of the last times I was at area assembly a couple years ago. So they recorded me talking about the third step, which it was really cool. It was really cool. I mean, I gave some inside, kind of what I call inside information, on step 3, because every alcoholic in recovery inside Alcoholics Anonymous, if they work all 12 steps, there's like one step they can really talk about. The third step is the one. I mean, any one of us can talk about the first step or the 12th step. We can, but there's that one step in between the first and the 12th that there's always that one that that if you've worked all 12, I mean, you really know it. And that's step 3 for me. And so they had me, I asked, I said, well, would you guys like me to talk on step 3? They said, well, yeah. I said, well, and I said, I said, you guys know that. I said, yeah. They're like, yeah. I mean, my step is, and they named off the one that they were that they really had. And so I gave it was like a half an hour talk on step 3. And at the end of all of that, they they basically they took that recording and it got sent to AA World Services up in New York. And to my knowledge, that recording was I've never actually looked. I'm going to have to now at some point, but evidently it's been put in the archives at AA World Services, and you could go to the website, evidently AA World Services website, and there you go. There you guys go. Get to know each other. Um, you could actually go to AA World Services website and actually look it up. To my knowledge, I don't. I mean, I know that it went up there to the archives, but I don't know. I was told that even if they didn't use it for like this one book or something like that, that they were going to at least put it in the archives where anybody can go onto the website and actually, you know, uh, listen to it. Now I'm gonna have to go check that out myself. But yeah, that was pretty, it was pretty cool. I didn't know what to think when I got voluntold that I was gonna do that. All right, Chairman, you go rest up, buddy. I'm thinking of you. Good to see you. Great guy. Great guy. Really nice personality. Um, mm, excuse me. Whew. Sneezed so hard, I almost sneezed my brains out. But yeah, so I actually got recorded. To my knowledge, you can go to AA World Services and actually listen. I've got to go check that out now because I've been wondering about that. As you know, it's like, did they really do that with? Man, I'm gonna have to go check that out. If it is on there, I'll have to play it during one of the streams. I think that would be cool as heck, and to actually play that recording for you guys because that was cool. When I told Sober Man about that, he's like, "Are you serious?" I said, "I know it's in the archives. That's the best I know. I think it's in the archives, which that would be cool as heck." I'll have to go find that out for myself now. Dang, now I'm thinking about it. But yeah, how you doing, Tokyo? Um, but yeah, so yeah, I mean, to my knowledge, you can go to AA World Services and actually listen to that recording. And all they wanted me to do was talk on a particular subject. We're just chit-chatting about sobriety. I'm coming up on February 7th. It'll be 15 years since my last drink or drug. 15 years. That's a long time for this guy. Um, when I first got sober, I honestly didn't think I was going to make it a week. And I heard for the first time, you don't have to make it a week. Can you just do today? Can you just do today? And I'm like, yeah, I could do today. Okay. When tomorrow gets here, we'll worry about it. Okay. Just do today. And that that formula's worked pretty doggone well. Worked well for a good minute. So, coming up on 15 years without a drink or a drug. And, you know, I've been doing a lot of reflecting, and I was just telling some neat stories from my sobriety, um, which my first time, talking about area assembly, and of course, a little while ago, I showed off the darkest thing from my sobriety, my 2-year coin. That is the darkest thing from my actual sobriety. Um, which I'll have to do a really in-depth video on that. Like one of those things that I'm probably just going to lock it away. I think I've attempted to give it away enough that it's just not meant to be given away. I, you know, I think that's where it's at. That's where we stand on it. I think Chairman's already called it a night. I think everybody's going to agree. Yeah, just lock that thing away right now, Prince Magnum. Don't even bother. Don't even bother attempting to give it away anymore. It just doesn't work out. It always boomerangs back to you. Uh, But yeah, and of course, you know, showed off some of my old coins, things like that. But yeah, I've been doing good tonight. Kind of tired, but I work. I'm usually about this time. I'm, even with streaming and everything. Right after the stream, I'm usually winding down for the night because I got to get up bright and early, and I'm usually clocking in at work at 4 o'clock in the morning. Usually, I know tomorrow I don't have to be there till 7, so I actually get to sleep in, which means I'll be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, instead of getting up my usual 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's crazy like that. 2 a.m. I'm rolling out of bed. Yeah, actually, I usually hit the snooze button about a dozen times and then roll out of bed at about 15 minutes till, throw on my uniform, down there starting Project Spirit at no later than 10 minutes after 3 a.m. And then down the road, clocking in at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yep. That's life. That's life at, whenever the camera's off. And I drive about half an hour one way. Yeah. But that's one of the nice things about sobriety is I get to enjoy the joys of being responsible, which I was doing that before I got sober, but you guys get the idea. Basically, I was what they call a functioning alcoholic, if you can even call any alcoholic functioning. Just depends on the degree you want to consider them functioning, you know. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to do a video now on the 2-year coin, the scariest thing that I own, which I know right now, Think Different is probably sitting in the background. Dude, wow, just wow. Keep that dang thing away from me. Just no. Big fat no, no. Keep that thing miles away from me. I think we're probably going to have to lock it in my safe. Yeah, I actually have a safe. It'll be safe in the safe. No sense in getting it out. But yeah, everybody that I've ever given this coin to, yeah. Yeah, you're like, yeah, put that thing in the safe. Yeah, I actually own a safe. Which, there you go. If y'all ever wondered, this is what the 9-month coin looks like. No, this one isn't mine. I think I actually gave my 9-month coin away. Come to think of it. Yeah, I gave my 9-month coin away. But yeah, that's what they actually, I don't even know where I got this. Come think of it. I don't even remember. But anyhow, so we're getting to that stage where we're going to be winding down, calling it a night. Thank you all for coming along with me and enjoying some stories about sobriety. I mean, and I even showed you the darkest thing that I own, and it actually relates to my sobriety. So now I'm going to have to actually do a video on this coin. And I might have to make it like an urban legends. I haven't done an urban legends in a while. I'm gonna have to do an urban legends now. I haven't done one. That's one that I'll go back to. That's a series I'll go back to every once in a while. Every once in a while. An urban legends, the story of Prince Magnum's 2-year coin. Ooh, that'd be a good one, wouldn't it? We did one a couple of years ago, and it was actually quite a success, quite a success, where we possibly debunked a ghost video that was viral at one time on YouTube. We debunked it, possibly. You know, really interesting. The spookiest thing I own. All righty. So, guys, it was an awesome live stream. I appreciate y'all being here with me. I had a lot of fun. I'm getting ready to go slice into some homemade bread. If I like how it turned out, we'll definitely have to do a video on it. I know at some point tonight I've got to finish up another video, which I only got to film one whole freaking scene. And I've just been putting off filming that one scene. And it's just an information scene, so I didn't actually have to do it at the same time. And then I got to go over a couple other things. I got to try to do, this voiceover. I'm going to be busy tonight. I'm going to be busy tonight. I might get on Fortnite Save the World later, and because I know tomorrow night we've got the Fortnite special and Battle Royale, so we're gonna do that. And I think Raven's gonna handle the pre-show there, if I remember correctly. So he'll handle the pre-show. We're gonna go live earlier than usual tomorrow. Which I'm already looking forward to. That's pretty much it. Saturday, expect to see a cinnamon live stream. God save us all. Sunday, it'll probably be some sort of a chill stream. Monday, I won't stream. It'll be actually, depending on what goes on, Monday. I know we usually do a premiere Monday, so we'll wait and see what that's going to look like. All righty. So that does bring us to a good stopping point. Again, thank you all for being here and sharing in my sobriety. Without you all, I couldn't do this. I'm still a selfish alcoholic. You know, I need you guys as much as I also need the members of Alcoholics Anonymous. I need you guys. You guys help me stay sober. All right. Just keep that in the back of your head. If you ever wondered whether or not you serve a purpose in this world, yeah, you do. You help me stay sober. That's just how that works. You all help me stay sober. That brings us to the spot where I get to say to all of you, and we do the outro a little bit different in Sober Talk. It's a little bit, it's special. And it goes a little like this. Day's end, I hope all of you need me as much as I need you. And, as always, for all of you out there, if no one out there has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.